All right, let's start talking about some good stuff. I just talked about the movie Joy. Ugh, that was such a meh film. I really want to talk about something that I loved, and that's The Danish Girl. It's directed by Tom Hooper. I'm Sam Carrico with the Film Fan Club, by the way. It's directed by Tom Hooper. I really enjoyed it, and okay, it's not the best film of the year. It's not. It's in my top. Probably, I just decided it's in my top 10 of the year, but it's not the best film because a lot of it, it has a lot of flaws, and I'll kind of get to a couple of them that I can think of off the top of my head. But it's a very important film. I saw it recently at the Circle Cinema in Tulsa, and they had the Equality Center, the local LGBT plus Equality Center, had organized this panel discussion kind of thing with a bunch of people talking about these issues that the film kind of discusses, and it was very captivating. It was very entertaining and very educational, and most importantly, and I really enjoyed it for the entirely. It was honestly a great thing to go into this film with kind of that in mind, and how important it is to a lot of these people that this is also getting very important representation. So that was really fun. So that also, with that going in, I saw this movie. It's directed by Tom Hooper. I love his directing style. It's kind of a little bit pretentious, but also like delightfully so. I love how I mean, the corners are so so fun. He does some great, every film, I say this with a lot of films that I like, every single frame of it you can put in a frame on your wall and make it a picture, and I love when the cinematography does that for you, and I really appreciate how beautiful this film really is on a visceral level. The story is great. It says a true story, based on a true story, inspired by a true story. It's inspired by a true story, not really because they tweaked a lot of it. They changed a lot of the aspects of it. I'll get to some of that in my cons. Um, Not that that's a con, but it just ties in. But what I really liked about the film was, of course, Eddie Redmayne. Of course, the film, The Danish Girl, I might have not said it already, but the film is about the very first transgender male to female gender reassignment surgery, and the person and the relationship of the person who goes through that, and how that all just unfolds. Eddie Redmayne, of course, plays the first male to female transgender, well, not the first male to female transgender, but the person who undergoes this surgery. And then Alicia Vikander from Ex Machina plays his Eddie Redmayne's wife, who goes through this, and she really honestly does a fantastic job. They both do a great job. You kind of expect Eddie Redmayne, the reigning best support or best actor actually, to do a good job. But Alicia Vikander, this year, the Ex Machina and now The Danish Girl, she's just come in and done a great job and really impressed me. And I just saw Ex Machina a couple weeks ago, so it was kind of like all within a short frame of time. It's like, wow, who's this girl? It's really fantastic. She does a great job in this film, and of course so does Eddie Redmayne. And the supporting cast, they do an all right job. There's a couple, I think Ben Whishaw from Spectre and In the Heart of the Sea, he shows up in this film, and this is probably the best film that he's done this year, and it's pretty, I really enjoyed this film. He did, his role is not anything significant, but he's there. Now, a couple of the things that, of course, the directing style was all that. I really liked how moving this was, and it really treated the film with great delicacy, and it treated the subject matter as important as it should be treated, and it was really refreshing on that level. Of course, I think Tom Hooper really worked well. I think he was the best director to direct this film. I couldn't see really someone else doing, just like I couldn't see now after he did Les Miserables, I couldn't see someone else doing Les Miserables. I couldn't see someone else covering the Danish Girl. He did a great job with it. I really enjoyed it. A couple of things that maybe I didn't like is the last act of the film kind of gets a little convoluted in its, because of course, as any film, as it, once you get into like 75, 66 to 75% of the film, it kind of starts to get dark and everything. Everyone goes through the troubles and the creative choices that they made with the characters and how they react to certain things, I thought were a little bit weird. But it was mostly, and this is kind of a cop out because I say it's one of my cons, but it kind of ties into a pro actually, because it makes me feel like unsettled by the choices that these characters are making, and I'm like, oh, I don't like she's doing this or what, and I like that whenever they react to certain things, and I'm on this journey with the characters, and I'm following their emotional arc, and I really like what I'm seeing. And then whenever they make a decision or something, or whenever I feel like someone's relationship with someone is at risk, or someone might be going through a hard time, I empathize with them, and that's what this film made me do. It was really enjoyable on that level, and it got me to actually physically react to some of it. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like whenever certain parts happened, it was an uplifting tale. I really enjoyed it. Trying to think of other cons. I don't know. I really enjoyed this film. It was so refreshing to see because I saw Hateful Eight and that was really enjoyable. Loved it. And then I saw Joy, and then I saw The Danish Girl, and it was a great film. Honestly, I was really because a lot of people I saw it and then people were like, yeah, it's kind of pretentious and it's not as good as you would expect. And I was like, so I was like, okay, well, this is just going to be a polished. Mediocre film, but just a polished one. And I really was in. I thought the script was enthralling. I thought the characters were captivating. I thought the plot was really enjoyable. I was about to say really fun, but I don't think that's the right word. It was really enjoyable. I was never bored watching it, and it was. I don't think I was ever like looking at my watch, just sitting there wondering like when is this going to end. But even the best films sometimes get a little bit long, but this film I never felt like it was. It was a great altogether time at the movies. Got a big old bag of popcorn and a cherry coke, and it was just a great time. And I think this is probably I saw half of Theory of Everything, but I think I really like Eddie Redmayne's job in this film probably a little better than what I saw in the half part of Theory of Everything. And I actually went to see the movie with my girlfriend Hannah, and whenever like I think we were at the halfway point of this film, I was like turning over to her. I was like, "This is so much better than Theory of Everything so far." So. I mean, I guess makes me so much more happy that Theory of Everything did not win Best Picture over Birdman, because Birdman's a great film. This is also a great film. As good as Birdman? No, but that doesn't need to be. It's still a great film. Now, this is kind of where it becomes a little bit weird, because I recognize that the film has some shortcomings, and it kind of has a messy third act, and it kind of, in the third act kind of, because it's so messy, is because they differed from the actual like lives of the people and how they actually reacted to certain things and actually what they wanted to do. They changed it for story reasons, and it kind of made it a little bit more convoluted and a little bit more like so. And I can't tell you what they did because that would be kind of spoiling, and I don't want to spoil the kind of experience for everyone if you just want to go in this as a fresh slate movie. But they did, but it's still in spite of some of a convoluted third act, and it really works. It still is a great film that's beautiful, inspiring, uplifting, and enjoyable overall, I think. Now, who's going to want to see this film? Someone who really enjoys a great, I don't know if this is an indie, but a great Oscar bait kind of film, a really inspiring film about something that's very it's a story that needs to be told, and I think especially in our era, it's very important that a lot of people get to see this film. It's probably not for the person that's going to go see Avengers: Age of Ultron, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but for someone who, if you like Les Miserables, I will definitely recommend it. If you really like great films, like if you're into all the films that are probably going to get nominated for Best Picture, or films that aspire to do so, then this is for you. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyways, for the Film Fan Club, I'm Sam Carrico. I gave this, I think, an 8 out of 10 because it has a couple problems, but in spite of those problems, it's still one of my favorite films of the year. Maybe not one of the best films of the year, but it's one of my favorites. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just how I feel about it, though. So check out the other stuff we do here on the Film Fan Club show, and follow me on @SamuelD Carrico. I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.